I'll be a little short today. I have something else I want to talk about after the homily. I want to begin with an incident. I mentioned it at Daily Mass a few weeks ago, but I want to come back to it today. So in late August, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I headed off on vacation to Hawaii with 4 other priests. So the 5 of us heading off to the Big Island. I've never been to Hawaii before, so this is my chance. It's been really warm here during that time, 80s, and it was just hot, and didn't cool off much at night, and I was kind of tired of wearing my priestly stuff, and I thought, you know what, I thought I'd get into the aloha spirit. So I called one of the other priests, Father Ted, a good friend of mine, and slipped into the conversation that I wouldn't be wearing my cleric's font this time to the Hawaiian Islands. I was just going to be in a Hawaiian shirt and shorts, to get into the spirit. And again, Father Ted and I, we vacationed before, and we always travel in our black clerical clothes on other vacations, at least on the way there and back. So I was kind of testing his reaction to this. He didn't buy it. I'm paraphrasing, but when he said, you're a big sellout, what are you doing that for? But that was basically the point of his reaction. I tried to explain, he just laughed some more. You see, again, priests are asked to wear, in public, clerical clothes. Now, not always. If I'm jogging, I don't do that. But it kind of shows the flag, shows that the church is here. It offers an opportunity for people to come and ask you things. Again, you're out there. Keeps you on the up and up. And yet it can feel uncomfortable at times. Again, you're there, and the Catholic Church is there, and people always take second looks. Who's this guy? Is that a priest? They sometimes start conversations that maybe you didn't really want to have at that point. Their past reactions to Catholicism, want to tell you why they left, or questions about whatever. And some of them clearly aren't thrilled by when you sit next to them. So again, it's just kind of complicated. Whenever I do not wear clerics, it feels like I'm invisible. Just like I'm just an invisible man. But Ted's reaction convicted me. Deep down, he was right. This is what it was all about. That I wanted to relax more than I wanted to witness to the faith on that trip. That's really what was going on there. And the relaxation I was seeking was more psychological than physical. I wanted to be invisible more than I wanted to keep cool. That was what was going on. And Ted called me out on this, Father Ted, and he offered what's called a fraternal correction. One priest, one brother priest to another. You say, why are you doing that? If your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. So the first part of this reading today in the gospel, that in part at least, it's about fraternal correction. That is, Jesus assumes that his disciples will address the sins and weaknesses of one another. They're to do it in charity, because again, there's a question. Didn't Jesus say, do not judge lest you be judged? Judge not, you will not be judged. But it really is a question of intention here. When we judge somebody, we're thinking in our own mind, it's a negative thought. It's like, I don't like this person because X, Y, or Z, or I don't like this person, therefore I jump to conclusions, or I want bad for them, as opposed to, I'm acting out of charity. This is a friend, this is somebody, I want to help them. That's not what Jesus is talking about when he says, do not judge. Our sins hurt other people, but they can also hurt us. Again, for many of us, it's very difficult to offer that fraternal correction. Now, there's some people who are way too eager to point out our faults, but again, that's the judging that Jesus is talking about. But we are to call out, again, first privately. Again, there's the intention of trying to help them. I'm not going to broadcast this. I just want to talk to you one-on-one privately. Can I just point something out to you? Again, because I want to actually help them. And we're all called to that. Again, in our first reading from Ezekiel, we have, again, God has set Ezekiel as a watchman for Israel. And he says, whatever I tell you, if you don't tell them, they're going to be in trouble, but you are too. But if you tell them what I say you, point out what they're doing wrong, then if they don't correct themselves, that's their problem, but you're okay. But you got to tell them. Again, that watchman on the wall. I just think about the times, again, This is even difficult for us when there's not even a fault involved, when we're not even judging somebody. It's simply, oh, it's embarrassing. This person has broccoli in their teeth, or a little piece of cheese hanging down their chin, zippers unzipped, whatever it is. And you don't know them, or maybe you do, but I can't tell them that because it'd be weird. But if you leave them the rest of the day going along, it's charitable to say, hey, by the way, you want to wash your face. That's a good thing. It's charitable. And we have trouble even with that sometimes. But it's an act of charity to call out other people's self-destructive actions, again, starting in private. And again, it's not so much, it's not only for that person, it's for the people who have, I was thinking there would have been a lot less abuse, sin, and hurt involved in our scandals if priests had been willing to call priests out, offering more fraternal correction. Why are you going there? What are you doing there? But it's not just, that's the one extreme. That's an extreme, then the broccoli from the teeth, the other extreme. Oftentimes it's somewhere in the middle. And it's, again, within marriages, it's within families, it's within friendships, it's within workplace coworkers. It's among people who care for each other. Because, again, this is an act of charity. A fraternal correction is always an act of love. That for that flight to Kona, I showed up in my clerics. Ted convicted me. So he was a little surprised when he saw me at the gate. He was flying in, and I was going to SeaTac. We're catching the same flight to Hawaii. And he looked at me and said, where's the Hawaiian shirt? I said, okay, I got it. You're guilty. So he laughed. But this is the interesting thing. This is what really happened. So this is how God just kind of hit me aside the head. While I was waiting to board, so I was in my clerics, I was waiting to board a flight. This guy came up to me from another flight next door, and he came over to me and said, thank you for being a priest. He said, I'm a fourth degree Knight of Columbus. I'm from Dallas, but it just helps me so much to see you there. Said, wow, that's okay. And then Father Ted, so he wasn't getting that comfortable because he had upped his ticket to be on an aisle seat in an exit row. And so he got to go on first. And so then as I was walking back there, I saw it. He was there sitting there with the person across from him or something. And they were talking about the faith. So he already had struck up that conversation there on the plane. And when she saw me coming back through that aisleway, she said, oh, how many of there are you in here? There's multiple priests on board. Yeah, there's 5 of us. Actually, there's only 3 on that plane. But then, this is the way it works. A flight attendant came up a short time later to Father Ted and said, there's this mom and a little child back here. Could you give up your seat, aisle seat, exit row, and go take this seat, middle seat, 6-hour flight? And he said, sure. Really hard to say no when you have your clerics on. And I see, that's what I knew would happen. That's what happens. You have the clerics on and then somebody's taking advantage of you. But I was impressed, again, edified. I think other people were too, probably. And then, this wasn't on the flight, but just on Labor Day, I was walking back, clerics, I was walking back from the church to the rectory down 88th right here. I was walking along the side of the road, and this car kind of he's coming up the hill, and he just kind of pulled over right next to me, and he rolled down the window, and he said, can I ask you a favor? I said, sure. He said, well, I wonder if you would please pray for my 8-year-old child who's in a coma. 8-month-old child. My little baby was in a coma. He said, I'm Jewish, but if you could ask upstairs for help for my daughter, I would appreciate it. I said, sure. Yeah, be praying for her. Be praying for her. Wouldn't have happened. So again, the whole idea. I knew that wearing clerics was the right thing to do. This is a small little example, but I knew it was the right thing to do, but I had that moment of weakness, maybe not even a moment, maybe a period of weakness, where I said, I just want to be comfortable. I want to be invisible. I don't want to do the right thing. And my friends, you have the courage and the honesty and also the friendship to say, what are you doing? Again, act the right way. Come on. And he was right. So who are you being called to deliver that fraternal correction to? Again, it's somebody that you care about. And it's sometimes hard. May we have all the humility to give and receive charitable corrections for the sake of everybody. So that's my homily. Now, I want to transition, though. I want to talk about an opportunity here coming up. In a couple of weeks, we're going to begin the Rescue Project. You can see it on our media in all sorts of ways. And this is a 9-week course on the foundation of Christianity, like the basics of it, just the basic thrust of who Jesus is and why. And it's from Father John Riccardo's group, Acts 29. And I've preached about this a little bit. It's that CCRR I once talked, created, captured, rescued, respond. And this is what it'll look like. There'll be some online materials you can check out. And then once a week, we get together, we see a short video, and we talk about what's on the video and what we may have read. It's very simple. And you can choose to participate either on Thursday nights, 7 to 8:30, or you can be Saturday mornings, 9 to 10:30, whatever works best for you, no cost to you. When you register online, there's a little spot to say, I'm volunteering to be a table leader. That'd be great. We could use some more of those. But please give some deep prayer and thought to joining this. A great foundation. If we aren't sure, I just don't feel, why is this all so important? What did Jesus really do for me? What's our real relationship? So again, pray for that. And then very briefly. So again, the year's kicking in again. We're starting to do stuff. So October 15th and 16th, Sunday and Monday night, John Leonetti, nationally known Catholic speaker, layman, he's going to be here to talk about, again, the faith, the basics of who Jesus is for us, why this is important. So mark off your calendars for those 2 dates. And then November 27th and 28th, Monday and Tuesday after Thanksgiving, we're going to have some of the Sisters of Life from New York here. They're going to be in our school for vocation talks and things. But they're also going to speak at night on Monday night and Tuesday night here in the church. They're a great group of religious. And so, again, come and listen to that talk as well.